In this video I'm reviewing one of the biggest LEGO Ninjago releases ever with 14 sets. 14! And I figured I would start with the 3 smaller ones. The Dragon Power Spinjitzu sets for Kai, Nia and Lloyd. The packaging will be hard to miss in stores given its unusual shape, and Nia's feels deceiving, where these 1x2 tiles seem to be made out of the opalescence LEGO color, but are actually made from a shade of blue with no special effects to it. There's some pretty obvious new elements in all of these 3 sets, this black frame of sorts and 3 sphere elements with their respective ninja colors. There's 6 different colors to collect as stated in the back of the packaging, and while you'll be able to find the blue and golden ones in other sets, the green and red ones are exclusive appearances here. They're the same size as the ball from the football table set, but slightly bigger when compared to a regular football or the old Bionicle spheres. The premise with these sets is placing the ninja on top and make it go through obstacles, defeat the enemy and retrieve the golden dragon energy core. Nia's is flicked to go forward, Kai's you need to flip and Lloyd's spins. The minifigures themselves are all exclusive to these sets, and that becomes obvious if we compare them to their regular versions existing in the other sets of the wave. The top element of the balaclava is printed, whereas the regular ones aren't, and the torsos have new prints and transparent arms, which is actually kinda cool and rare to see. The bottom half of the balaclava goes all the way to the back to old katanas that aren't included in these sets. I think the exclusive minifigures and the new elements may be the biggest incentive to get these sets. There's lots of play potential, especially for kids, but at $11 a piece and very low piece counts, out of which a considerable amount are small, rounded 1x1 plates and similar, makes these sets a bit hard to justify. On the lineup there's also 2 4+ sets, great options to introduce kids to LEGO if you wrongfully think classic sets aren't cool. Price per piece ratio on these usually goes out the window because of the big chunky elements with higher production costs. In Kai and Raz car and bike battle, for instance, these half-frame pieces are huge, but make for a quick car and bike. Not overly designed, but simple enough for kids to build, I guess. Kai's car even has a tail section of sorts, and the dragon head at the front, like all 4+ sets, is printed. Same goes for the front of Raz's bike. On top of the vehicles, there's these flames and a small temple with the blue lightning. Now we get to see Kai's Dragons Rising regular minifig version, this time around with a katana, and I'm a big fan of these alternate faces all the ninjas have that match the balaclava quite well. Raz is this bearded wolf-like guy with very detailed prints all around, but what I absolutely love about him and every villain of the theme is this dual molded weapon element. It looks incredibly futuristic, and the pearl black color mixed in with trans orange for detailing as well as the blade look really great together. At $20 and not judging the price per piece ratio, which would be unfair in this case, the set provides a lot of fun for kids with 2 sturdy vehicles, minifigures, their respective weapons and a prize for them to be fighting over. The other 4+ set, Nia and Arin's baby dragon battle, isn't as exciting in my opinion and costs almost double the price at $35 without doubling the amount of pieces, so there's that. But it does have 3 minifigures: regular Dragons Rising Nia, Arin, a new ninja character to the series with a different kind of top element, and this weird rubbery material grappling hook weapon, and finally the Imperial Claw General with an oversized headpiece that when removed reveals a very cool minifigure headprint that looks super sci-fi-ish. Not exactly a minifigure, but there's also the baby dragon Ryu, single piece mold with cool prints, that we will get to see a couple times more in other sets of the wave. This set has mini builds for a simple cave where Ryu supposedly hides, and this shooter assembly for the villain side of the battle. The Imperial Claw General flies this flying device that features another of those printed wedges like the other 4+ set have, has a pair of wings, is built on top of a fairly big juniorized element, and also has tilting rotors for extra play. The dragon that the ninjas can ride in the back also has some big chunky pieces for an easier building time for the kids, and I was kind of fascinated by the inclusion of the Velociraptor legs, a nice way to repurpose an old element I think. Head and tail can be posed and so do the wings made with these trans yellow wedge pieces. The head element is again printed, and I really like the way the dark blue and trans yellow colors are combined into a single piece. On paper this set feels like it offers more, but at almost double the price, my favorite out of the two is Kai and Rasa's one. You can't really beat the play value of two-wheeled vehicles, especially at $20. Now with the 4 Plus and the Gimmick Sets out of the way, let's focus on the real sets. The Imperium Dragon Hunter Hound has 3 minifigures, another Imperial Claw General turning the new blade weapon into a spear of sorts, and 2 ninjas, Lloyd and Jay, in their regular outfits, both equipped with 2 katanas. The Hound itself looks rather menacing, as it should, with the help of a printed element for the eye details, and I like the golden plated armor pieces he has on his torso area, front legs and claws. I do find the waist area, so to speak, way too thin, giving the animal very weird proportions in my eyes. The arched back looks cool and the tail has this weird shape, maybe meant to be like a cudgel weapon to inflict damage on its prey. There's decent degree of posability with this one, with most limbs being on ball joints and click hinges. At $20 and 200 pieces, it has good price per piece ratio, but comparing these to the 4 Plus set with 2 vehicles, I would probably pick that one over this based on play value alone. Zane's Dragon Power Spinjitzu race car is a mouthful of a name for a Lego set, but look at this vehicle. 7-year-old me would probably freak out over it. The shapes and color choices look great together, the front with the katanas and trans blue elements are awesome, and there's even some golden gun elements used as details up here. Not a big fan of the 2 different types of tires used, but I can get over it just fine. It may look odd to see the dragon power elements on the sides here, but that's because of a neat function the car has. Pressing the spoiler down, the car's wheels will be lifted and the vehicle becomes supported on the power elements and a golden wheel element of sorts in the back, allowing the car to spin. This way you can have a similar style of play to Lloyd's Dragon Power Spinjitzu set, trying to knock down the enemies set up on these rounded trans-orange platforms. On the ninja side of things, the set features Zane and Cole, exact same style as the previous ninjas, but on the enemy side of things we have the Imperium Guard Commander and an Imperium Claw Hunter. I really like these guys and I feel like building an army out of them. The head prints, once again, are amazing in my eyes, and for the heads they have this pan element of sorts and a golden version of the black helmet piece the Imperium Claw General had. At $35 and 300 pieces feels expensive, so if instead it had one less minifigure and the price tag of $30, it would be easier to justify. Sora's transforming Mech bike racer is another mouthful of a set name, but has a lot going on for it. On the character side of things, this one has Arin and Baby Ryu once again, but introduces us to a new Ninjago main character named Sora, and like every other ninja, while the bottom half of the balaclava is the same, the top part has cat ears. Her head prints are very interesting, as is her golden left arm. There's also Rapton, the villain of this set, far less technological face print when compared to the other guys, but carrying the same blade weapon I like so much. He has this flying vehicle with way too many stud shooters, and while not shown anywhere, I kinda like to think that he could deploy these katana details to slice things while flying by. Sora's bike mech is where the fun stuff is, minus all of the stickers that do give it cool detailing. I love the color choices here, which match Sora's outfit with the white, coral, dark blue and a few splashes of gold. It is a very weird looking bike, I'll give you that, but it kinda works. I just wish they could have managed to do something different to the mech's feet back here. Yes, being a bike mech, it does transform. The legs come forward from the back, we open these side sections to form the arms, open these wedges for shoulder covers, take these blades from the back to place them on the hands, and finally raise the flags. It's definitely a weird looking mech as well, but a better mech than a bike in my opinion, and it wouldn't be complete without the stud shooters. I feel whenever Ninjago sets have oversized wheels for their vehicles, prices go through the roof. It was the same with last wave's Kai's Mech Rider Evo, that cost $45 for a little over 300 100 pieces. Sora's bike mech manages to be slightly better priced though, at $48 for almost 400 pieces. The transformation feature is really fun, and you get all the new main show characters in this set, so I can see the appeal. Next up, there's Heatwave transforming Lava Dragon that has 4 repeat characters from sets shown previously, though it includes a 5th one. Wildfire, the elemental master of heat that shoots heat from her hands. The villains have this flying vehicle, similar in style to the one from Sora's bike mech set, with less stud shooters but a claw-like build in the front that can hold stolen dragon power elements. The set includes a purple one that belongs to Heatwave, the first proper dragon we get on this Ninjago summer wave. The color scheme fits it, being a lava dragon and all, and I like this nougat color going all the way from the lower jaw element to the pelvis, if dragons even have pelvises, that is. You can also see the color in some stickers for scales. There's also a bunch of golden details for the horns, claws and spikes, and even some katanas are part of his body. On the tail, the use of this element is kinda great if it weren't for the obvious gap here. It poses as you would expect it to from obvious joint spots, and the back of the box suggests a weird transformation where you turn everything upside down so the dragon power element can be shot to try and hit the enemy's vehicle. If done successfully, the vehicle will spin in place due to the turntable element used over here. The dragon even has a seating spot for both dragon options, so it is intentional. I just feel this form with the neck going down is a bit weird and unnecessary if the goal was to access the shooting function that can still be done in the upright position with no issues. But regardless of all of that, the dragon build looks really good in my opinion, especially with the dark red color scheme going on. It's crazy to think that this set has 5 characters though. It kinda plays into the story of the episode where Heatwave, Wildfire and the 2 ninjas show up, but still, 1 or 2 less characters and maybe the price of $55 could have gone down a little, making it a great playset with great value. Now to keep the review on a dragon tone, here's the Elemental Dragon versus the Empress Mech, the main villain in this set. She is more human than most villains from the wave and carries another copy of the blade. There's yet another Lord Raz minifigure and an Imperium guard, a golden version of the one previously seen in Zane's race car set. Baby Ryu, Zane, Jay and Sora have been featured in previously seen sets as well. Empress's mech makes me really appreciate how the Ninjago design team has kept a consistent visual identity for all of the vehicles on the enemy side of things. You do feel like you're building an army when you place them all together like this. The black, red and gold color scheme is there, as well as the patterns on the stickers. Empress can pilot the mech by fitting inside this chest-like element that's been used many times before for similar mechs, and the asymmetrical design makes the build far more interesting, carrying an oversized blade on the right hand and having a weaponized left hand connected with a hose to the back, where the blade element does not spin freely, which I feel was a missed opportunity. Jay has this flying vehicle of sorts, golden pieces everywhere and 4 stud shooters in the front, but the highlight of the set has to be the Elemental Dragon. I keep praising the color schemes of these sets with good reason. This one is even more pleasing to my eyes than Sora's bike mech. The color blocking is perfect. 10 shades for the underbody color, then there's the dark blue, which you could say is the dragon's main color, broken by a different shade of blue for details, especially on the sides of the tail, and then this light yellow for brick-built scales with a touch of trans yellow pieces is all very inspiring. It's really hard to miss the joint colors on the legs and feet though, unnaturally big for the size of the dragon, but necessary to hold it upright, which I can get behind, and do hold the dragon up quite well. The tail on the back has so much weight to it, so even if you want to pose it, it will eventually drop, which isn't ideal. The arms look the right size, though the wings could have been bulkier in my eyes. They feel too thin. And thin they are, made with the foil plastic sheets we've seen countless times before. On the back, sitting spot for Jay, and the neck follows a close style to the tail. These head molds are usually fantastic, with prints and dual molded colors on them. At the top we can see the exclusive yellow dragon power element, just sitting there this time around, no shooting function like the lava dragon. Jay's flying vehicle comes in handy to upgrade the dragon. You split it into different parts that are then added to to the elemental dragon for its ultimate form, kinda disguising some connection points that felt unfinished prior to the combination. Out of every Ninjago dragon released this year, the elemental dragon is without a doubt my favorite of them all. The build is super solid and the color scheme is pure eye candy. I really like the set, but I hate the price. $130 for a little over 8,000 pieces feels a bit much. Even if you consider the foil elements and maybe the dragon head molds that should in theory be the only unusually high production cost elements of this set. If you're lucky to find it in the wild with some sort of discount, go for it. It's on my top 3 sets of the wave for sure. The Temple of the Dragon Energy Core set, while also having little over 8,000 pieces, is fairly priced at $95, and as most Ninjago buildings based sets, looks absolutely stunning. 5 of the 6 minifigures aren't new, if you watched the entire video until this point, so subscribe cause you're obviously enjoying this. The exclusive minifigure, however, is the eerie looking spirit of the temple. Maybe to scare people away, though his secondary expression is far more natural looking, despite being extremely hard to make out his expressions with the black printing over the dark green head. Before heading over to the temple, there's this simple shrine build of sorts with a staff weapon and printed Chinese type lamps on transparent red minifigure heads. The temple itself, as I said before, looks stunning. Big fan of the asymmetrical design with a well down the left and a big tree that has been made to look like it grew together with the temple, or that the temple was built alongside it, depending on how you see it. At the entrance there's some cool brick built details like the stone lantern, a bunch of stickers as well, and I like the shurikens as details on the doors that open as intended. The round shape of the roof-like structure above looks great. This floor has these golden elements surrounded by the sand green sticker with Ninjago inscriptions. On the third floor we can see a golden dragon element through the window, and all the way up there a Chinese style bell. There's a few tree branches sprouting everywhere and a small bridge leading to some sort of balcony above the tree. There's a play feature in which pressing the flag here the balcony will fall, something that will come in handy when the fight between the ninjas and the villains occur. By the entrance there's another play feature as well, where this branch with a lantern gets in the way of the entrance door. Very spooky. Inside, on the ground floor, there's this bookshelf with a scroll, maybe a reference to the 6 different dragon energy cores like we see in the back of the product boxes of this wave. It must be important as there's a booby trap that makes these golden logs fall from the floor above in order to protect it, I wanna guess. To the side, the place where the spirit of the temple is meant to be as a statue that will jump onto people and scare them by turning this gear here. In the floors above there's the golden energy core we were able to see from the outside, as well as the bell. If nothing else, the set looks great for my LEGO adult fan eyes, while still packing a lot of characters and play features for the kids at a fairly decent price per piece ratio. My second favorite set of the wave. Back to Mechs, we have Lloyd and Arin's Ninja Team Mech set. To make up for the lack of a vehicle, there's 3 villain minifigures in this one. Repeats of Rapton, Imperium Guard Commander, and Imperium Claw General. For the ninjas, Lloyd and Arin, as the name set suggests. Arin's mech matches the ninja color outfit with the bright light orange pieces all over the place. I really like the use of the chest mech pieces as knees, and there's interesting parts in dark green, like the ingot elements or these rounded bricks. The chest section that opens to fit the pilot inside is actually brick built, while having this mechanical looking upper jaw dragon head element. Lloyd's mech, however, is the star of this set with a beautiful dark green color scheme. There's this cloak-like thing that I'm really not sure how and where to place, made with Technic panels decorated with stickers. There's way too many hinges here, so I guess there's lots of possible ways this could be placed and displayed. It is, however, at the feet my favorite detail is the Geta sandals. How crazy it is that there's a Ninjago mech wearing Asian style sandals, right? Love it. And posability with this mech is kinda ridiculous. Ankles, knees, legs, waist, shoulders, elbows, hands, you name it. I like the look of it, but at the same time there's too much detailing and different shapes and surfaces. The color blocks aren't as straightforward, so in my eyes that kinda hurts the overall look and feel of the thing. I like Sora's mech or Jay's Titan mech from the previous wave more than I like this one. Not to say it's bad, I guess it comes down to personal taste. Both mechs can be combined into one, and the final look of it, well, isn't as impressive as I hoped it would be. Again, it comes down to personal taste, but I don't feel that the combination makes the combined mech stronger. It's just the big one carrying the little one, you know? Jay's flying vehicle being combined into the elemental dragon, on the other hand, does feel like an upgrade, if that makes sense. There's still an oversized staff weapon to match the mech, and that's pretty much it. While it isn't one of my favorite Ninjago mechs out there, there's still great things about it, especially those sandals. I want all LEGO mechs to have Asian sandals now, and priced at $80 for almost 800 pieces looks, on paper, like good value. The last product of the wave is Destiny's Bounty Race Against Time set, a redesigned version of the iconic ninja vehicle that has had different styles and shapes over the years, while the main aspects of it being a red flying vehicle still remain. Rapton is all by himself with no fighting chance against Kai, Lloyd, Arin, Sora and Master Wu, the exact same version from the previous wave featured in the Creative Ninja Brickbox set. There's also an elemental dragon in this set, significantly smaller when compared to the bigger ones of the wave, though similar in size to the one from the Baby Dragon Battle 4+ set. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but color here is on point. Not as impressive as this elemental dragon here, but consistent with the shades of grey for the body underside and this light blue shade for everything else. Printed elements for the eyes and bright light orange horns and wings that feel far too small to allow it to fly. Highly posable with a mounted battle station on top equipped with stud shooters. This here, with Sora on top, a villain and one of those small flying vehicles would have made this a killer $20 set, am I right? If you play around with the dragon limbs, you can actually store it in the Destiny Bounty airship, which is cool, I guess. The body of the vehicle feels kinda futuristic in a way, judging by the design of the side propulsors. There's a trail of trans blue elements going towards the front, so maybe that's the purpose of the elemental dragon in there, powering the airship? I'm a big fan of angled builds on LEGO sets, so putting this whole section together was very enjoyable, and the brick-built anchors are a nice touch. There's stickers with the ship's name and a few others spread out in the model, with the next one being this board game on the deck, where two players can enjoy a cup of tea. Above, an Asian-styled lantern and the wings of the airship that are made with a thicker plastic foil than the one from the elemental dragon, and there's an actual play feature here to deploy or close them by turning this round brick, which is nice. Towards the back there's the ship's wheel, complete with a compass and telescope to weigh the captain, and further back the living quarters area, with a color scheme that matches that of the elemental dragon. In the roof we find baby Rio, with enough food, a ball and a yellow bone to keep him entertained during long trips. Removing the roof section, the captain's quarters have a few katanas, a scroll sticker on the wall, sextant on the desk, and a very childish-like drawing. This section can also be removed to reveal a room with a few beds, weapon displays including an older Lloyd headpiece, a chalkboard on one side and a game console on the other. All the way in the back there's a few banners with stickers, another Asian-styled lantern and a set of 4 propulsors to power the airship. I really liked building this one. There were lots of cool building techniques, the character selection is great, and so is the elemental dragon. I do find that there's a lot more play value in some of these smaller sets of the wave though, like the temple, Sora's mech or the dragon ones. And if you plan properly, could buy 2 or even 3 if you add any of the smaller sets into the mix for the price of this big one that will retail for $160. Don't get me wrong, the piece value is there, actually better than any other set of the wave, but having kids in mind who will want to play with the sets, you'd be better off getting a couple of the other ones. There's still a last set of this wave of products, my number 1 pick, the Ninjago City Markets, though that set has its own separate review video, so be sure to watch it next if you enjoyed this one, and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos.